welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another reading vlog or a hangout. Okay, spend a couple of days with me. I will be doing some book stuff though in this reading vlog. I do want to update my reading journal, and I also do want to read some cozy books. There is a book club pick for July that I do want to get through because we do have book club next week. I do want to go to the library just to see what kind of books they do have, and I think I do owe the library some money because there is a book that I returned quite late. I also would love to do some baking. I want to bake a banana bread. Every single time I try to make a banana bread, it always sucks. Wonder what I'm doing wrong. Let me give you guys kind of like the TBR for this reading vlog. Actually started this book this morning. It's Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikatsu. This is part of a series. This is the first book in the series. I think there are currently 5 books if I'm not mistaken. First 4 books I was gifted by Pan Macmillan like 2 years ago, to be honest with you. I'm currently on page 11. The premise of this book is that it is short stories in this cafe. It is kind of like magical in a sense that the people in the cafe are able to transport you back in the past or be with certain people or kind of like relive certain moments, and you have to do all of that before the coffee gets cold. So it's kind of like before your timer is up. So right now the first story that I have been introduced to is The Lovers. I'm not sure about the writing so far. It is written in kind of like third person. I'm going to be seeing multiple characters at the same time. It's still very early to say anything about this book, but I really love the premise, and I know that a lot of my mutuals also enjoy this book. I wonder, right? There are like 5 books in the series. Is the premise the same? It's still about like being in the cafe, or is it like premise changes? Magic parts, does it change in every single book? Like, actually intrigued by that, and cannot wait to get into this book because I feel like fall, autumn, wintry, atmospheric type of book, because that's what I'm in the mood for. Like, second book that I do want to read in this reading vlog is Cursed Daughters by Oyi. This is our book club pick for the Lit Social Club. I've heard amazing things about this book, and it's actually one of those books at the beginning of the year, I think around January, I really wanted to pick up, but the price, it still hasn't gone down, guys. The book is still 400 rands. It's 395 rands. So for now, I'm definitely going to be reading this book on my phone. Right now where I'm at, I can't justify buying a book for 400 rands. I'm sorry. This author is actually the same author who wrote My Sister the Serial Killer, which is one of those books that I really did enjoy about like 2 years ago. I'm not really sure about the premise. Like, I don't know. It is pretty long, longer than books that I do kind of like want to get through. We're already halfway through the week. Book club is next week. So basically I don't have time. Continuing reading this book. Once I finish the Lover story, then I'll come and give you guys an update or kind of like give you my first impressions of the book. Without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. Many hours later, my coffee is finished and I am currently on page 56. Finished the first story. I don't know why short books take me a long time to read. I think I underestimate because I'm just like, oh, I can get through that pretty quickly, and then it takes me forever. Like, I don't understand why it took me close to 2 hours just to read the first story. But I suspect that one of the reasons with this book specifically, it's because of just how the writing is. As I've mentioned, that it is in third person. First of all, that's a POV I do not like. Why? Another thing, the writing in terms of it is translated in English, it's so repetitive of the things that are happening here. I hate that thing with passion. Things that was being repetitive here was the rules. The cafe has rules into time traveling, or there are certain things that you are supposed to follow and there's certain things that you need to obey. One of them obviously is that you need to get all of the things done before your coffee gets cold, because if it does get cold, there are consequences of that. And we see one consequence of that in the story, but they keep being repeated like I think 4 or 5 times. Give it the benefit of the doubt, or I kept on continuing because I was like, maybe they're trying to do an emphasis of the fact that you need to follow these rules. If you don't follow these rules, there will be consequences. Like, I need you to hear. When I finished the first story, or when I got in the middle of the lovers, now I'm actually invested, was when the person who wants to time travel in the lovers story is Fumi, who is the girl in the relationship, right? She's already time traveled. But when she was complaining about the coffee, I was like, girl, focus, lock in. There's something that you need to say to this person. Log in. Isikhathi siyahamba ntombazane, isikhathi siyahamba. And you keep complaining about the coffee being bitter. Focus. That's when I was like, oh, I might just be a little bit invested. What I got so far, the story, it ends, and there are infinite possibilities based on the conversation that they had. She definitely has a different outlook than the one that she had when going into the cafe. Kind of enjoyed it towards the end. I will say, like, the last 30 pages was interesting. It did grab me. So right now I'm gonna be starting Husband and Wife. Yeah, I'm gonna carry on reading. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you guys whenever, because now I feel like I'm truly locked in. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hi guys, it is the next day. I have a dilemma. Not a dilemma. I don't know why I'm crashing out like this. I have never ran into this problem since I was in school, and I was like middle of doing like my reading journal. Also realized that there are certain books I didn't print out, so now I have to print them out. So far my reading journal is looking amazing. Even made a little junk journal. But dilemma, I need to go to the store to get a pretty, and also I need to print out the books that are missing for my reading journal. The shopping center is very close to my house. I'm gonna get some things that are missing for my baking. I know that we do not have baking powder. I want to get that, and also get some bananas. And also I'm gonna pop by the library, also pay them their dues. And maybe I will read there for like a change of scenery, come back, give you guys all the updates that I need to give you. Yeah, let's go to the shopping center. I'm back. Right now, I'm actually doing my reading journal. Look at my new junk journal. Back to back. I am so happy. I love them so much. This is like my reading journal, so anything that has to do with my reading, and it gets put in here. This is like my junk journal. This is gonna be like my vision board, like everyday habits. I did a couple of things that I think kind of reflect who I am. I actually love how it turned out. I do want to talk about my reading journal. I think I did tell you guys that actually I changed a couple of things before I actually ran out of print. I changed my cover page, and I'm so happy that I changed it. This looks and feels like more me. The little collage that I took from Pinterest, stickers that I already have, and then I made the background book pages. It would have been nice to add like 2026 here. The reading goal, I've already updated that and it's already still the same. Because of how the page looks now, I want every single page to be as busy as possible. This is my monthly spread. Would love to add more stuff to make it more busy, but I still like the simplicity of it all. Favorite for June, which was Viola Davis Finding Me. To my book club page was for June. We were doing like a readers month, so anyone can read whatever book and then can come and talk about that book. July we are reading Cursed Daughters. So the reason why I even needed to print out more is because May we were reading one of my favorite books, which was Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. I didn't have a photo of that book. Will be putting on my glasses because your girl cannot see. I've already added my Open Water. Already this spread is looking so good. The next spread that I do have is the lineup. I've already read Under the Odilla Trees, so I marked that off, as well as Finding Me by Viola Davis. It's really interesting how many of these books I will be getting through them, but it's so interesting how when I do get to that book, how I end up feeling, because so many of these books that are on this spread have been on my shelf for a very long time. So I'm so happy that I've actually made some progress. And then we come to the June one. Yeah, I've already added Night Bloom, and then I added for these two books, it's Not Another Love Song as well as Get Me Not, and I added Finding Me. I already marked the 2 videos that I wanted to out on my YouTube channel, and I add the books that I've read for July. I read Maggie or a Man and a Woman Walk Into a Bar by Katie Yee. Pleasant surprise. And then I also read If I Survive You and Under the Udella Trees. So I will be adding that as well. This t-shirt says. I think since I was reading a Japanese novel, I thought it would be great to wear these t-shirts. I've never worn it before. I think it's a Naruto t-shirt. So today is the next day. Probably will be the last day that I'll be doing this vlog. Hopefully I get to finish this book because I'm currently on page 169. It's 213. I'm on page 169. I've read 3 stories so far. I've read The Lovers, Husband and Wife, Sisters. I just started Mother and Child. So far, I will say the writing is not my favorite, to be honest with you. It's not my favorite. I think the way that it's written, it feels more like screenplay, trying to add everything all at once. As I said, it is third POV, so we are going to see all of the characters in the same scene, but we get to see how they're feeling and what they're thinking as well, which makes it feel congested. I love the concept. I think it's such an amazing concept. I think I did give you guys a synopsis that we're following a cafe in Japan. It is a Japanese cafe, and I would say that it is very cozy. In the second story, we get more description of the cafe and how it feels. It is an underground kind of like cafe, so you can imagine just like how small. There's only like 6 seats, I think. There's only like 2 waitresses, 1 chef. There is 1 seat able to travel back in time. You can only sit in that seat, and then there's a lady who's always sitting in that seat unless she goes to the toilets or something. Something that I hadn't thought that now it's actually being mentioned on the last story. Think about them actually going to the future. And I think maybe we're gonna get it in the other books. Hopefully I'll be able to get the story of this woman who's always sitting in that chair, because I'm really intrigued by her. What was it about her story that made her stuck in that timeline? Yeah, as I was saying, that the atmosphere of this book is very cozy. Like, it has antique furnishing, even though everything looks very pristine and very well taken care of. But yeah, the only downside of this book is definitely how it's written. There's just something about it that feels very off to me. Maybe the audiobook is not so bad, so that's what I'm going to be doing today whilst I'm baking. I think it's so much better than listening it, because I feel like it's someone telling me the story, since it's already in third person. Other than that, I feel like what the book is actually questioning us as a reader is really interesting to me, because I find if I'm able to travel back in time, one, who the heck would I want to speak to, and what would I say? I really enjoyed that aspect, and I hope that the last story is actually going to be the woman. Like, we're going to get context about the woman. I'm so happy that I actually have the other books, because maybe I will listen to them as well. I'm still kind of like mixed feelings about it. I'm not sure if I'm loving it, or I think I'm in the middle. I think the concept in itself is very amazing and it's original to me. It's a 3 right now. I'll see when I'm actually done, and we'll see how I feel. Yesterday I did go to the library, paid my dues, thank God, bought the things that I want to use for baking. So I will be doing that while I'm listening to the rest of this book. I don't think I'm going to be starting Cursed Daughters, and that is a shame. I'm not going to be starting this in this reading vlog. The one main thing that I truly wanted to do was obviously update my reading journal, which I'm so happy that it is updated. I don't like to be too behind. I went to the library, which is amazing. They had some great selections at the library. Great Big Beautiful Life, which was a shocker to me. They also had from Ellie Hazelwood, which is Problematic Romance Summer, something along those lines. But they also had that. They also had a South African book that is The X Effect by Joe Watson. They also had Queenie. They had some pretty cool selections. I was really happy to see that, and hopefully a child will pick up one of those books and have their lives changed. Today I'm gonna be baking. That's what I really want to do. That's what I have mind set. My heart is gonna be so happy when I start baking, guys. I really hope it turns out well this time. If I mess this up now, without further ado, let me listen to this book. Let's get to some baking. Did bake. Clearly izandla zami at this point, because I followed the recipe, even though I feel like I put more salt than I should have. Like, it's crunchy on the outside and it's hard. It's not fully cooked in the inside. Like, it's cooked, but not in the way that other banana breads are usually cooked. Like, I ate it with some ice cream, which was nice. At this point, it's either the stove or it's me. Like, I don't know who's the problem between those two, but I'm happy that I actually did bake. It was nice to bake and also listen to the book. I finished it. This was such a pleasant surprise, because by the end I felt like I had ideas of where the story could go, or felt more like a series. We get into the first story, we get to see someone who's outside, who doesn't necessarily work in the cafe, who's not attached to the cafe, who's very much like an outsider. You get to see everybody else who's like a regular in the cafe. The more that you get into the other stories, the more you see who is more attached, or who's far more important in the story or in the cafe, and I feel like it's Kazu. Kazu is one of the waitresses, and she seems to be the only one who's able to pour the coffee. Like, I felt like even with the last story, very touching for me. There's some loss, there is some grief in it, but also happiness. There are quite a few emotions that you get to feel with this book, but I don't think I felt them to the full extent that I was supposed to feel, in a sense. Obviously, the writing was just, for those reasons, this will be a good 3.5 star for me. By the end of this book, it made me more excited to read the other stories. That's why I actually quickly picked up Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe. I think this is 6 or 7 years after this one. We're still gonna see more stories about people time traveling, but I think the more we get the stories of other people time traveling, the more we're going to get the story of Kazu, because in this one they actually gave us a map of the characters. The names were kind of like confusing for me. It was hard for me to kind of remember who's who. I'm so happy that they actually gave us this map and how it was like connected. As I've said, that Kazu she is the center of everybody else. The writing, I will say, is a little better than the first one. The woman is still there, still don't know why homegirl is stuck there. I find it interesting in how Toshikazu chose to write the stories per se. Like I go in thinking it's about something, and then by the end of the story it's totally not what I was thinking about, and I like that. Like, I think it's a nice surprise that's really fun to kind of like go through and read about and kind of like be shocked at certain moments. Like, yeah guys, that is all for this reading vlog. I really do hope that you did enjoy it. If you've read any of the books that I have mentioned, if you have read the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, or if you have read Cursed Daughters, actually tell me something about Cursed Daughters. That is not a spoiler, but I will get it once I read the book. Hope that you did enjoy this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.